What's going on, guys? Happy, I think it is, the second. Awesome. So I just got done with some cool fellowship stuff here at church. Got done with my day a little bit early. I had the opportunity to come down here. We're doing a really cool little thing here. It's like an 11-week thing called Freedom in Christ.
Phone disconnected.
Oh, thank you. I know I disconnected it a second ago. But one of the things that I just really enjoyed, this whole fellowship thing. It's been really big on me with my spiritual calling, and something, I've been struggling a lot lately. There's some situations in my life, I've talked about this a lot that have to do with custody, and there's some, unfortunately somewhat ugly situations that have come out of that. I've been trying to apply a lot of acceptance and a lot of love, and work through the frustrations in my life by not getting angry, not focusing on how frustrated I am with the people, how frustrated I am with the process. If you know anything about courts, it takes forever and it wastes tons of your time, and I'm scheduling and moving things around, blah, 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 blah. At any rate, it's a difficult process, but one of the things that Pastor Jeff said tonight that really hit me hard was, he was like, sometimes having real faith in life is having the faith to rest. And of course, if you know me, I'm all about let's do that action shit, guys. Let's do that action shit. And I think that, they talk about a lot of stuff with that, faith without works is dead. It's important. I say this a lot, and this part is important. God will give you a shovel and the idea to dig a hole, but he ain't digging it for you. So you got to put that effort in to make that work. You got to put that effort in to make those things happen in your life. However, even when there is effort involved, there comes a time, especially when it comes to patience, where you have to turn the solution over to God and to the fact that you've taken all the action you can possibly take. Now, if you know me, I'm a driver. I'm a type A personality. I want to be in control. I want to push the things. I'm a results-oriented person. And I also really want to try to push situations to happen on my speed. Well, here's the crazy part, man, is it's not faith if I'm not turning it over, if that makes sense. If I feel like I'm constantly having to worry about how I'm going to put my hands in it and change it, that's not faith. That's control freak shit. And I say this all the time, man. If it's not motivated by love, it's not of God. Everything that is of love is of God. Anything that is not of God. All right? And I believe that our spiritual enemy is attacking us at all times. And somebody, one of my dudes, Brett, who's fast becoming one of my just favorite people to talk to, it dropped a dime on me today that was really hard. He's like, that our spiritual enemy, Satan, Lucifer, wants you to feel like he does. He wants you to feel alone, out of control, unable to be helped, not able to be forgiven or saved, and not able to change his position or your position. And so the reality is that we are going to experience those emotions because our emotions are part of our body. It's part of our fleshly experience, and those things can be manipulated at any time. But like I'm always talking about, man, if I'm trying to control stuff, it's because I'm not riding in a level of peace. I love you guys. Love you. Thanks again, guys. If I'm trying to control everything around me, I'm not really trusting it now, am I? The reality is that we all have to, at some point in time, turn the results that we're hoping to get over to our Creator and let the fact that He has blessed us with a world that does work with results and actions take place. And I have been struggling like a motherfucker with wanting to try to have something happen on my speed. And it was just such a weird sense of spiritual peace that washed over me when he said, I just pray over you to find the faith to rest and allow God to be God. That hit hard for me, man. That hit so hard for me to recognize, what's up, man? To recognize that, there's a lot of times where, it's maybe not even that I'm, trying to take back control of the situation from God, but I'm wanting these results to be on my terms, on my speed, on my thoughts, on my everything. But again, in this book that I'm reading right now, man, it just kicked me in the teeth. Is like, I don't think that anything that doesn't require an element of faith is of God. We can't call it God's calling or God's direction in our life if it doesn't require us to rely some level of faith on Him. Like anything else is foolhardy. And like today, I'll just be honest, man, like I was going through it spiritually. I was going through it mentally, and it was just kicking my ass. And it, you know, if you follow my stuff, you know that one of the biggest things I do is like I don't want to be fake to anything. I don't want to be fake to my creator. I don't want to be fake to the people that consume my content. I don't want to be fake to my family. I want to be as authentic as humanly possible, you know. And the other thing that is of God, like for real, is God is truth, God is love. And those are the only two unalienable things that I 1000% can say I know. 1,000,000,000%. God is of love and God is truth. And if I don't operate with those two things in my heart, whatever I'm doing isn't my spiritual calling. And so in these cases, I think the important part is to express that, yes, I have struggles, man. No, I ain't fucking perfect. I absolutely have days where I stutter or stop. And the consistency that we all need to work through is a struggle for me. But I recognize that the truth of the matter is that there's no such thing as fucking perfection. Like I said this to Lacey today, man. Like I said this, like I'm going to journal every fucking day, man. I missed 2 days last month, and I've been beating the shit out of myself mentally for missing 2 days. But meanwhile, I fucking gloss over the fact that I made 29 fucking wins and 2 L's. I'm teaching myself and learning through this process that sometimes giving up control is the hardest fucking thing in the world to do. And not just like control of other people, because I think on an intrinsic level, most of us really know on a real level that we actually can't control other people. We intrinsically know, if we really think about it, that we can't control the world around us. But how about learning to intrinsically understand that it's actually acceptable to know that we cannot fully control us? That the only thing that we really have control over, the only real thing we have control over is our spirit and our ability to focus that on God. And anything else, any other type of focus, isn't going where it needs to be. And, you know, on that spiritual level, man, one of the things, I'm going to get real vulnerable with you guys, that I've been fucking struggling with, and it's something I haven't talked about a lot because it's just such a hard, weird thing to know how to talk about, man. But, like, it's February, you know, the 13th will mark the official day last year when Cassie broke up with me. And it'll mark probably the official, what would you call it, anniversary of the hardest fucking lesson, the hardest, most difficult, painful thing I think I've gone through to date in my whole life. And one of the things that I've been realizing is that I've been trying to control the fact that I'm going to feel this shit by always making myself so busy I don't get a chance to look at it. And now, especially with this today, man, I'm trying to find a spot where I can rest and find some peace with the reality that sometimes things happen that are out of our control. That when people hurt us, that the best thing we could possibly do is try to forgive them. And it's literally, I don't think it's any coincidence that while I was in church here, somebody messaged me, and, you know, I'll keep their anonymity at heart, and asked me if I would be able to forgive Cassie after everything that happened, because there's an untold story that I don't have the time here to tell, that it got really, really bad. It suffice it to say that, like, none of the breakup was my idea, and the things that happened afterwards, as far as like where everything went and what got divided and everything like that, and how it got divided, and the way I got dealt with was not clean or pretty. And it was hands down probably the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And I learned even in that time to pray for somebody who I felt like was tearing my fucking heart out. But, like, I need to learn to give up the idea that I have to control my emotions about that. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel betrayed. It's okay to feel angry and frustrated. And it's okay to also feel love for that person on top of all that. And that's fucking hard, man. That's confusing. But that I can't ever find any peace of mind if I don't put some element of the fact that I understand that my focus must be on the Lord. It must be on God. It must be on truly understanding that I am only in control of my connection, my very connection with my soul to my Creator. I'm only in control of whether or not my focus is on my Creator. I'm not in control of my fucking emotions. I'm not in control. Sometimes, to be honest, like I know all of us have done some shit sometimes. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Why did I do that again? Well, obviously there's things that we need to address, but sometimes we're not even in control of our fucking actions as much as we want to pretend like we are. But I gain control over those things when I put my focus of my soul on God. Because I gain the understanding that if it's not of love, it's not of God. If it's not of truth, it's not of God. And since greatness is the creator of the universe, greatness is in me, and I can only find that greatness in me when I focus on my connection with my Creator. That is the only one and singular thing that I can never let go of. It's the one and only singular thing that I must take hold like the reins of my life, and everything else is in God's hands. I do my best to follow that will and turn over the results. And finally, the other thing that really tripped me out that I really, really loved is that it's like, I read this today too, like, a man with 2 watches never knows what time it is, but a man with 1 watch does. So when I try to focus on whether or not I can control everything I see in the fucking world around me, when I try to look at everything in the whole world like I have some type of control over it, I don't know what time it is ever. I don't know what's really happening or what's not happening, what's driving what. But when I realize that the blacksmith of all creation, as I call it, the painter of the universe, the literal poet that spoke creation into existence, is truly the one in control, well, then I know my place and I know what time it is and I know who I am at all times. But I have to let go of the idea that any of this shit is truly in my control, because no matter how much in control I think I am of it, literally I could be driving home tonight and get hit by a fucking semi, and that's that, and I had no control over that. That's the end of it and everything that happened. That could be the end of it right there, and I'm that easily, everything could just go astray. But I can be in control of where my heart, where my soul, and where my very spirit is focused at all times. And that all being said, I did want to say something else too. I've got this really awesome announcement. I made a 4.5 some odd long minute affirmation song. We're going to loop it like 800 times, or maybe not that many, but like a bunch of times, and put it on YouTube for anybody that's really interested in having some spiritual affirmations. Things that we talk about, you know, the things that I talk about on this affirmation video are like, you know, just talking about the connection with God and why it's important to do that, how I focus on those things, and they're all like I am statements and I statements, so that you can listen to it and help yourself really affirm your connection with your Creator better. And I felt like no greater time, especially considering, you know, the message I felt like today, to release something like that, than today, to really talk about like, hey, let's drop the idea that we have control over anything except for our relationship with our Creator. And I think that once we do that, we recognize that no matter how bad it gets on the outside, that as long as our soul and our heart and our mind are right with our Creator, that it's already all right. The only thing that can really destroy that is the idea that we do have fucking control over any of it. Obviously, there's callings. And here's another important thing too I do want to say also, as far as the idea with like 2 watches or whatever. When you have the idea that you think that the world is really in your control, first of all, you're lying to yourself, and a person that's lying to themselves can't tell reality from falsehoods anymore. you're unable to interpret the will of God. It separates you from the direction of God when you follow one lie or another instead of just the simple truth that you only have the ability to focus on that relationship with your Creator. That being said, I'm running out of gas in this parking lot because, as usual, I do this kind of shit to myself. And so rather than sitting here and running my gas out the rest of the way in this parking lot, I'm going to go grab some gas, get home to my kids, and just want to wish you guys all like a blessed day. I love you all so fucking much. Thank you for involving yourself in this. Thank you for consuming my content. Thank you for just being interested in improving your life and your spirituality and everything. And thank you for being on this fucking journey with me, guys. Like, this has been a journey for me. I learned so much talking about this stuff and trying to teach as I learn. It's an honor and a privilege to be part of that. And I want to let you know, I guess the last thing here, too, that was really powerful for me is that, like, prestige, you know, and like money and like possessions and things like that, they're only helpful if it makes it attractive for you to help other people. Like, if you have those things and it's a way for you to glorify your Creator and attract other people to also glorify your Creator and be part of that, I think it's okay to have those kinds of things. But I don't want to ever get anything twisted and have anybody think that I'm in here in any way, shape, or form to try to push myself as some self-stylized guru. I'm literally just a person who's experienced an incredible amount of pain in their life and want to share that love and share that real truth that God loves you. And that's the most important part of this. All that hellfire and brimstone stuff, whatever, man. God fucking loves you so much. And you need to keep that in mind first. You are literally God's favorite version of you. Like, say your name out there. Like, you want an affirmation? I am God's favorite Justin Phillip motherfucking Hadlock. For real. Because you are. When you really think of that, it's going to be hard to fail at anything. Love y'all. Talk to you tomorrow.